Welcome back to Unmuted Nation, and it's time for another edition of The Cabinet. Joining me in the cabinet today is none other than Tiff Lanelle. She is the host of Tiff Talks here on Boss FM, and it's a Friday dump. So, Tiff, we're going to jump into it. I know that you've had an interesting week. I've covered some interesting things on air this week as well. I think the best thing that I can say that I'm glad about is that I haven't really had to say shit about Donald Trump. And I'm glad about it. Glad about it. Yeah. Aside from it's like you lost your job, so it's time to like. I don't see any packing happening.
I don't either. I'm waiting on the truck to pull right on in front, and so we can wave arrivederci as he carries his ass to jail.
Because I really think that, and they do like a immaculate switch during the inauguration, which they're saying right now, they're speculating that he's not going to attend.
What a petulant child.
He doesn't do anything that doesn't serve him. So I'm not surprised that he's not going to attend. But here's the thing. Joe Biden is now, and this is, I know Joe's like trying to play the diplomatic role and the stately president and all, like be a statesman and all of this. And it's like he would have really hurt America. Joe Biden said he would really hurt America if he didn't show up. I'm like,
no, he wouldn't.
I honestly think that after everything that he's done, he would actually help America by not showing up. Like, please don't. Just please don't come. We don't want you here. We don't want you there.
We don't want anyone in jail. And I did tweet that. I said, I would not mind if he showed up to the inauguration. That way we know where he is so they can place the cuffs on him. Make it easier on all of us. Don't make us find you. Just go to jail.
Do you really think he would go into hiding?
Yes.
That's just not his style. I don't think he's going to flee because he's too arrogant and too bold. And usually the principle tells us that usually people that are that arrogant and that bold, usually like fate takes them out. He's just escaped that repeatedly. And I'm not doing is
God the latitude and longitude, and I don't understand the heavenly misfires.
I don't want to mischaracterize or categorize what I'm saying. I'm not wishing harm on him. Other people do that all the time. I also just don't want to have any encounters with the Secret Service since they're asking me like, why would I say that?
No, you're praying for him. I mean, you're praying specific scripture, but we're praying for him. It's really all that counts, I think. I could be wrong, but that's what I think.
I don't have any scriptures for him or any prayers. Nothing about him loses my lips, and we've already wasted too much time on him. Let's talk about another president, though, that I don't want to have issues with. And I don't.
But do.
Equal opportunity, though. Here's the thing. I covered Obama during his presidency when I was in office, things that were total BS. I called them out. I was enlightened on other things that I thought were BS after the fact. But while we are in the sense of making sure that we get things, and honestly, I'm not saying things, but I'm talking. You know who I'm talking to. We are trying to make sure the shit is straight as we move forward, right? We need a positive new 4 years. There's something that's trending. It started trending overnight. It's still trending right now. Blue MAGA. Let's not. I just wanted to step in. I don't have the visual for it. You can type in Blue MAGA. It's trending. When I woke up, it's trending. And it's like make America great already or something like that. And people are already out here like, we just got rid of that. We do not want to become what we hate. Let's not do that. We are not. This is not. No. And you people in your blue MAGA hats, all of it can go. It can go. We don't want that. Return to sender. Not interested in that at all. I don't want a slogan rallying around. Barack Obama did an interview on Snapchat earlier this week about how progressives should really modify their statements and more so their terminology when referring to what they want. In the clip, he's very, it's almost like he's sharing information that he thinks none of us have ever heard before, or things that we haven't actually said. And it's all, I would call him tone deaf, but he's the former president of the United States. He's a Harvard educated lawyer. So tone deaf is not what I'm going to apply, but let's play this and then we'll chat.
I guess you can use a snappy slogan like defund the police, but you know you've lost a big audience the minute you say it, which makes it a lot less likely that you're actually going to get the changes you want done. But if you instead say, let's reform the police department so that everybody's being treated fairly, you know, divert young people from getting into crime. And if there's a homeless guy, maybe we send a mental health worker there instead of an armed unit that could end up resulting in a tragedy. Suddenly, a whole bunch of folks who might not otherwise listen to you are listening to you. So the key is deciding, do you want to actually get something done, or do you want to feel good among the people you already agree with?
So,
no, Gary.
But before your comment, Tiff, I know that you're still getting presidential briefings. I know that you're still in the loop, so you know what's going on. I don't know why you would fix your mouth to say this. And I say that as respectfully as possible. But here's the thing. Do you think that we have not said maybe we should try reforming the police so that they don't kill us? You think that we didn't start there? You don't think that, like, activists have been saying this for years upon years? And I even want to check my fellow activists that have been like critiquing people that are just awakening to what's going on. And I want to talk to people that thought Black Lives Matter before 2020. Like, no, if you think it now, I am going to embrace you. You fall in line. Don't try to start something new. But we've been saying it. We've been saying it over and over and over. We've gotten to defund the police because that seems like the only logical thing that can happen at this point, right? And for the longest time on air all year, I've even said, when we say defund the police, we mean police reform. So that people, and I had to be like trying to careful with what I said so that people didn't flip and like, I want the police to answer when I call them, but you don't want an ambulance to come because you're out without a mask. And we know that the ambulances they're within, there's nothing left. They don't have, like, they're literally saying that in about a month you can call because you had a heart attack and no one's coming.
Right.
But all of a sudden you want the police to come when you need them. It kind of just made me really frustrated, that story. You know, I affectionately call him Rock, but I'm referring to him any other time. Rock, I just know. No. What do you think?
I think I'm with you. I don't want to call him tone deaf, but this rings very tone deaf like or adjacent at the least, because I agree. We've been saying reform the police, get new training, get different training, get racial sensitivity training, get this, and this, do restorative justice training, XYZ. Defund the police seems to be the only thing to have captured your attention. Now,
let's be clear, though. You don't want to call him tone deaf because he's not.
He really isn't.
You're
so
just
I don't think it's
this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing.
This is respectability for me. This comes down to, back to Barry's, with all due respect, respectability, politics, and language. And a lot of people who have read his most recent book have been complaining about the same thing, saying, well, wait, has he always been like this? Yes, he's been like this since before he dishonored Reverend Jeremiah Wright, which is a whole other situation. But this rings as,
he went to Flint and pretended to drink the water.
And said it was fine and then hopped his ass back on a plane. We both have had, multiple conversations. We are both equal opportunists, whether it's Democratic, Republican, Tea Party, Independent, or Libertarian, or anything else under the sun. This rings of change your language so you can fit this standard and get what you want. No,
that doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
I also believe that may be generational, right? I know that I heard that a lot growing up. Well, you have to fit this mold. You have to do this. You have to do this. I have done a lot of things not by not doing any of that shit. I'm somebody that will stand by you or your parenting skills as you like see the world as you know it, but things change and things are changing faster than they've ever changed before. We're on the brink of so many things. Now, Black people are literally on the cusp of having a net worth of 0.
Right.
So we don't really have time to make sure everybody feels good.
We're also dying in the streets, unarmed, chased, in our homes, by ourselves, jogging by ourselves, minding our own business, breathing. We are dying. And so I don't have time to say anymore, because let's be clear again, we've been saying it. I don't have time anymore to say, oh, let's reform the police department and get them some different training so that we can get the police on our side. F that. We've been doing that. It doesn't work. Defund the police, because that seems to get y'all's attention so that then we can maybe have a conversation. But we're damned if we do, we're damned if we don't. If we say it one way, you don't listen to us, and you don't.
To that point, you're spot on. You're spot on. And further to that same point, my thing is, if we said something else, like give us the police, right? We'll police ourselves. You would have a problem with that too. There's got to be something that we can suggest that will result in you not just pulling the trigger and killing us.
Yeah. And I don't know what that is. And honestly, I'm tired of bodies dropping while we try to figure that out and have a conversation. Like, we've been trying to have conversations for years.
And we've been
trying to have conversations for generations. We've been trying to have conversations since you burned Tulsa down. We've been trying to have conversations since you built railroads through cities in Atlanta that had primarily Black communities. And you were trying to tear apart the commerce that we were building for ourselves. Conversation is exhausting. I'm exhausted. We're exhausted, which is why now, and I'm not going to promote this, but this is why we're burning buildings down, because we don't know how else to get your attention to say, stop killing us. Stop killing the mentally ill and mentally challenged in the streets, because you don't understand and you don't know how to have a conversation with them to de-escalate the situation.
Stop signing up to become a police officer if you're going to just kill people.
Don't do that. Just
wrong profession.
Wrong profession. And I don't know what your profession needs to be, because God, please don't go into the prison system. We got enough work to do there already as well. But at what point do we, I want to turn
Amazon
the question.
Is always going to need people to deliver packages. That's my best suggestion. Relieve some stress, some anger.
Throw my package on my porch, I'm gonna whoop you.
I'd rather you throw my package than shoot my son.
Now, that's it. That's it.
And that's just that.
I want to throw the question back onto Obama. Do you want to just talk about it and say what will feel good, or do you want to get stuff done? Because
let me ask you this way: if the solution was that simple, and I love Barack, right? I love that he can come to the conversation with his charisma and his swag, and just like, this is the answer. If we just do it this way. You had 8 years to make that suggestion, sir. And this is also why I have a problem. This is why I have a problem with bullshit interviewers. Because you, as the president of the United States, had 8 years to just say that. You could have just said it.
Now I try to give him the first 4 because he was trying to, clean up an economy and clean up.
You're respectfully, you're playing respectability.
No, I'm trying to give,
No.
Even ahead of Joe coming in, he's going to spend a good chunk of his first administration.
You know why it's hard? Because well, history is the teacher, right? So I agree with you on that part. But it was during the Trump presidency that I discovered and you know what? I'm going to find it today and share it with you. I found a show that I did in 2008 when he became president called Police Brutality or Attack in America or something like along those lines. In 2008, I was a child in 2008. I literally was a child. But when I heard the guest that was on my show and the way that her heart was breaking and she described what happened to her brother in 2008, no,
and
I
we've
don't
been
think
fighting
that you should
for a
have sat
long
on your
time.
hands. I just don't believe you should have sat on your hands. I think that's bullshit.
No, and I'm not saying he should have sat on his hands. I do think it should have been one of his prior. Now, I think a lot of things about his 8 years in office. I think that there was a lot of things that could have been done that weren't done, or that we at least could have made steps towards. What I was saying is, I get it, that for the first 1 to 2 years. Now, hindsight is 2020, because just like Joe Biden and the Biden-Harris administration is making racial relationships part of their priorities for their first 100 days and in their administration, Barry could have done the same thing. Well, President Obama could have done this.
Could have, and he did some things, right? So not to take away from, and I understand that he had to do certain things,
right,
so that we had the opportunity to have Kamala become the next VP, right? So there's tons of politics that have to be played in politics. I just think that we can have the conversation and call it what it is. Hindsight may be 2020, but my vision is not changing when it comes to how I view Donald Trump's presidency.
Trash.
My positions change a little bit when I learn about the ramifications, though, right? So when I hear about the ramifications to Barack's presidency and some of the things that he does, and then he comes and gives an interview like that, when you're not really bound to anything, you really have and we're talking about setting, presidents don't do that. They don't try to impact current presidential policy after, president is done, okay? This country has let us know that they don't give a damn about precedent.
Right.
They just don't. They have broken laws, and all these people want to be pardoned before this man leaves. Why? Because they have blatantly broken laws. You can only be pardoned from what? A crime.
Period. So you wouldn't need a pardon if you weren't doing some illegal, sneaky, as I heard a correspondent on the show say the other day, shady-ish. This is one of the shadiest administrations that has done some of the most illegal and unethical.
We curse here at the nation. Shady shit. That is what it is. That is what this administration has done. And I like, when I say ish, they like, yo, Alex, you need to call that shit, because that's what it was. It's just shady.
Y'all have been shady, which is why you're going to jail. Just go to jail. And I really think, I think that he would run just like this man on that show that we were talking about yesterday, that I won't ruin it for other people. But y'all got a week, and then I'm going to be talking about it on my show. But anyway, I really feel like if he hunkers down in the White House just for losing an election, and then does weeks and weeks of legal battles trying to prove that the election was fraudulent, then yes, I think that his petulant ass doesn't want to go to jail, and he would probably go into some bunker and hide and eat Big Macs all day. I do. I honestly think that.
Big Macs and KFC, okay?
And KFC.
So on that note, though, I do want to transition and say, in the same breath, we can talk about some positive things and some positivity. In this case, I am when it comes to the man that's in the house right now, I really don't give a damn about him at all. Never have. But I do. Nothing makes me happier this week. This is actually the thing that has made me the happiest all week long. This picture of Barack and his melanin, and George W. and William Jefferson, and looking hydrated and healthy
and chilling.
Do you know how Donald Trump would just soil this picture? And I want to leave it up because I feel like there's so many questions that I have about this moment of joy, right? This is happiness. This is pure happiness. Can you imagine what this group text looks like?
Hilarity. First of all, if they know how to use GIFs.
Oh, I believe they do.
Better. I feel like it's full of anytime Trump does something, somebody look at this. Somebody come look at this. Somebody look at this. Do you see this? I cannot believe this.
I believe that the group text is epic. It has to be epic. It's
probably hysterical. Like, I've laughed. I've been laughing since this picture got released of just imagining the dialogue that goes on in that thread. Like, I would never. Daddy Bush would never. I never. You never. And you got head under the desk. And I just, did we ever think we would be here? No, me either. Like, I just feel like it's comedy.
And let's be clear, as somebody that lived through it during adulthood, right? George Bush was a terrible president. He was terrible. He was terrible. Dumb. He was also dumb. So I think he was dumb and terrible at the same time. He was also entitled because he felt like an heir to the throne. Like, he was the second Bush. So his mother, like, I mean, he was just terrible. But the way that I had aches and pains yearning for a return to the normalcy of the George W. Bush presidency, during this hell, it was literal hell.
I would rather be watching a president having a shoe thrown at him than what we have been enduring for the last 4 years. Like I said in another show, I never thought that I would say I miss Bush. And people say, well, which one? Pick one. Either one. I would take either one over this asshat clown that we have at 1600 right now. It's bad.
I would actually take George H.W.'s corpse in place. And, you know, we said a lot during the presidency, but I'll say it now. America needs a break.
Yeah.
We need a timeout. We need a split. We need to put this relationship on pause. Like all of these states going on pause. America just needs to chill. She needs to cool off. We need to go to our separate corners and figure this out.
We don't need cuffing season. Like, we need to skip cuffing season for just give us 6 months to just, you know, it's not you, it's me. No, it's actually you. I need a break from you. Get your stuff and get out. Like, America to me is that car in Waiting to Exhale. Like, I just really want to Angela Bassett this hoe. And I'm you know, apparently that's frowned upon in this establishment. So I think the safest bet is for let's just walk away, have a cool, 6-month break, and we can try this again in 6 months. I don't see anything wrong with that.
I mean, I'm gonna leave it alone because if we keep talking presidents, I'm not gonna have anything else nice to say. So, because I don't have, and I'll be honest, this is where I am already, and Joe Biden's presidency has not started yet. I tried to watch the first joint interview between him and Kamala yesterday. People were texting me like, "You watching?" I was just to appease them. I kept sending screenshots because it was on, but it was on mute. I have put Joe Biden on mute every time since he's been elected. I'm like, well, I don't really have to listen for craziness because I really don't need to see how outrageous it's going to be. And Grandpa's going to put me to sleep. So let's just continue electing people that can push policy and make a difference. But if Joe Biden speaking, I really don't care. I'm not stopping everything. I do finally feel the return to normalcy. I work in news. I'm going to find out what he said. I don't need to watch this hour as he's like, man, I would have took him out back. Like, no.
What?
No. I'm good. I do want to transition and talk about how dire COVID is right now in our community. And I just want to give this is a black uncle and a black auntie coming to you and asking y'all, what the hell is going on? And what is wrong with y'all? What's wrong? What is the problem?
What is really the problem? Seriously. I
do understand. Like I couldn't understand where you are because I hadn't been down there all year. But then I did sneak in and out quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I shared on this show earlier this week that I'm getting called by the sheriff regularly. I'm probably do a call in about an hour and a text message in all caps. It's very rude. But I've been in a state that's been treating me like this since March. Your state, people are wild, young, wild, and free, like it's a damn Wiz Khalifa video. And I just really don't understand. But now I do understand that even when people test positive, they feel like they can go to Walmart. See, that's not how any of this works. They feel like they can go to Macy's or to Publix. And actually, I'm putting our parents on blast at this point, right? Because there's people that have tested positive. What
are you doing? Sit down. Oh, Jesus.
So I'm a little passionate about that because you made it through it, but it's possible that you wouldn't have or you couldn't have. And I saw a story. I want to jump to something, but I saw a story out of, I believe this was out of Alabama. And I could be missing. I could be loose on the details. But this woman is taking care of now 12 kids because her sister and her husband passed away. So she already had 7 kids of her own. Her sister had 5. She didn't want them separated, and they had already agreed. I think the sister was 33 and she passed away with 5 kids, 4 girls and 1 boy. And this woman now has 12 kids that she's caring for. If I get it, like I've been talking about, we're working on this new Facebook group. Make sure you tell your people to come have some conversations. It's called The Unmuted Nation on Facebook. We talk about things. I'll put it in there so you can watch it. There's a GoFundMe so that all 12 of these kids have a Christmas, just trying to figure out how not to abandon. If I had thought about it, we would have pulled it in for discussion, but it's really sad. It's really sad. And I'm like,
she had 7, I'm assuming.
They're both in their 30s and she had 7.
Is she married? Like, does she have?
Listen, you asking a whole bunch of questions. I'm just saying that this woman has 12 kids. I really don't. The sister was married. And now they're both dead.
Due to the COVID?
COVID took them clean out.
And left. Okay. I have thoughts, but okay.
I want to get into this one though, because this one is literally, again, when I say what are y'all doing, or why are you doing this, or what's the purpose? And you don't really know, I, like you should. A New Orleans super spreader swingers convention leads to at least 41 COVID-19 infections.
Oh,
now, the name of the organization is Naughty Nolans.
What?
Naughty Nolans held their annual swingers convention in New Orleans, attempting to create a scaled-down COVID-19 safe bubble after more than 6 months of virtual events. Now, so they have a yearly convention. They've been having their meetings virtually, but I'm sure like they're meeting virtually and then it was like, you safe, we safe. Okay, let's swing. I don't know how it works. I'm not married. I don't know.
Somebody called William Jada and asked them how these swingers conventions work.
Now the event organizer says dozens of attendees have tested positive for COVID-19 and city officials have deemed it a super spreader event. In a blog post, Bob Hannaford said his team went to extraordinary measures to try to ensure the safety of attendees. Like, this is the thing. There's no measures other than staying home. And I know that people don't want to be at home, but you shouldn't be in a convention center. You shouldn't be at a party. You shouldn't be at a rave. You should not be at, like, you shouldn't
be sticking your eggplant into the pies, or, you know, and Keep your ass at home.
He literally says that
20,
50% of the
20.
attendees tested positive for COVID-19 antibodies, suggesting that they already had it. So he believed that they were hosting the safest event possible. How could you put safe? Well, safe and event and pandemic. All of these
don't
words
go together. That is full of oxymorons. You can't do that. First of all, the fact that 41 people tested positive means there were more than 41 people there. Problem number one. Number two, I don't know what you do at a swingers convention, but I would imagine it includes some form of touch. Like, I can't imagine that y'all had a swingers convention and sat 6 feet apart with your mask on.
He encouraged them to keep diaries of all interactions during the event, regardless of whether or not that contact included sex. So it's possible that it could have, but those diaries are currently being used to carry out aggressive contact tracing. He's quoted as saying, sometimes it's okay to admit that we do not have the answers. I don't have the answer now. I didn't have the answer on November 11th, the day our event started. He ends with, well, he didn't end here. I'm ending here because this is bullshit.
This is dumb.
But I understand now that I've been to Georgia, how people can just be oblivious to how bad this really is. He says, I wouldn't do it again if I knew then what I know now. It weighs on me and it will continue to weigh on me until everyone is 100% better. For those of you that you're risking STDs and COVID.
Just, the Bible says my people perish for a lack of knowledge. The lack of knowledge is just running rampant during this pandemic. And at first we could blame some of the misinformation in the news, but at this point, I just feel like there's no excuse. It's just blatant disregard and disrespect and ignorance. Wear your mask, keep your ass at home. And for God's sakes, don't go to a swingers convention during a pandemic. What the hell is wrong with y'all?
It's tomfoolery masquerading as fuckery.
Yeah.
In that same vein of people perishing for the lack of knowledge, I want to talk about Noah Cyrus. You may not know who Noah Cyrus is. I felt like I've heard her name for the first time in my life, like yesterday. She may have been there. Well, apparently she's been around for 20 years, and she's part of the Cyrus family. I don't know Noah Cyrus. I don't care about Noah Cyrus. I might drag Noah Cyrus for a second, but I also stand with Noah Cyrus because she was not wrong in what she said. You may be wondering, why is she relevant? What did she say? She does kind of look like Miley meets Cher meets on the cusp of transition. I don't really know what's happening here.
Alex.
That's a very strong face for 20. That's what I will say. But it also kind of looks like their family. That it looks.
Oh my God, I hate you.
So Noah is under fire right now for this post. Now, this post is going to seem strange when you see this. This is Harry Styles, I believe, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know these white people. He came out recently and said that he it's Friday, okay? It's Friday. We can go here. He came out recently and said that he's just going to wear what he feels. Like, he didn't come out to confirm a sexual identity that, you're wondering about or anything like that. He just said, I'm going to wear what I feel, clothes are a construct, whatever. So Candace Owens, which I try my best not to say her name either, but Candace Owens went on this tirade about, after Harry did this, about bringing back manly men. So Noah, in defense of Harry, posted the photo that Harry took and said, he wears this dress better than any of you nappy ass hoes. She said hoes with a New Orleans accent. I wonder if she was at the swingers. Well, I don't know. I wonder if she was old enough to be at the swingers convention in Naughty Orleans. Anyway, she said, nappy ass hoes here. Now, she's faced tons of backlash because of her saying hoes. I didn't even know who Noah Cyrus was. I know that she's a Cyrus, but what's interesting, I want to know if the backlash was actually because she posted it or because Candace got upset about it. So Candace Owens, seen here, very nappy-headed, says, anyone of woke liberals care to explain to me how Noah Cyrus calling me a nappy asshole is not racist? I'm all ears. You guys love cancel culture. Miley Cyrus, come get your sister. Now, granted, I will say it's inappropriate for a white person to call a black person nappy, period. It just is. When I was scourging or scrolling through Twitter commentary, people are like, anybody knows, white people know that if you say nappy, now mind you, I'm talking to some of you black people that have let white people appropriate black culture in your face constantly. You let them get a pass with saying these words around you. They're like, oh, are these naps? And then like, these are damn naps. But y'all let this pass. You let them drop that nigga word around you. Oh, well, it's the song where I was in the moment. No, y'all let this happen. A lot of critique. Tiff, people were saying, well, Don Imus was canceled. He lost his radio show. Don Imus was a radio legend. Somewhere like along the lines of as terrible as what's the one that's dying right now?
Oh my God, Larry King.
No.
He's not dying?
Rush Limbaugh.
Is Larry King?
Larry looks dead, but he's not dying. Rush has stage 4 cancer. This is really inappropriate today, but here we are. So they were like, Don Imus was canceled for calling WNBA players nappy-headed, right? So they're like, all she has to do is look it up.
Oh, he died.
Who died?
Don Imus.
Oh yeah, Don is dead.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Don is dead.
Oh, Jesus.
I was under fire for calling him a legend, even though I knew he was an asshole. I'm like, y'all cancel me then. He was a legend. He was a legend in his own right.
But the irony is his name is John Donald Imus Jr. That's just... Anyway. Yeah, he also was born in 1940, so he knew better than to call someone a nappy asshole. That was my point in looking him up.
Right.
To see his birth year.
To that point, Noah Cyrus, this is not me defending her, but she is 20 years old. Don Imus got fired in 2007. That would make her 7 years old then.
Right.
She's a Cyrus. So y'all saw Miley go through her, declare herself with her lackluster ass the queen of twerking. As if and then white people just started to pretend that Miley Cyrus made up twerking, and we had never seen the phenomenon until Miley did it. Like the Yin Yang Twins wasn't talking about, didn't have a literal song called, or Kim Kardashian and making, what do they call them, box braids, and
let me never mind.
Like all of this stuff, y'all have let pass, right? You've let it pass. So I don't really think Noah Cyrus knows or knew. Now, I'll get your thoughts here, and then I will continue my tirade.
Well, she also did not tag Candace Owens in her post. So in looking at the tweet, it looks like one of Candace's friends tagged her and said that Noah was calling her a nappy ass hoe. But I don't see Candace's name on there. So I just feel like maybe this is just your guilty conscience coming up, because Candace, the Owens, always says racism isn't real. So if racism isn't real.
Thank you for someone that knows the facts, because Candace, you don't even believe in racism.
You don't believe it.
You sued for racism when you were in high school, and contacted the NAACP to help you win a lawsuit against your racist ass high school, Candace.
But racism isn't real, is what she said.
And Rob Smith is another one of them. that y'all, and the reason is they want to see people outraged. But the thing is, while we're not outraged, I'm also going to say your denial of racism, Candace, is what enables racism. Your head is nappy. And that is just the facts on this Friday. Typically, whenever you do something publicly, you go talk to the Congress, you sit there, and I know that if you were in the face of Auntie Maxine, she would look at you and not, why in the hell did you come out with your head looking like that?
Now, that's a fact. That's a fact. Because you can tell at the part that she didn't.
And I wasn't going to do this, but you want to do this. I'm not going to.
I will. You can tell that it's not pressed enough. It's the part for me. If you look at the part, it's not. She needed a hot comb to just go ahead and, Now her eyebrows look good, but she just needed the hot comb in enough. It's in the part.
That's enough. Now here's the thing where I say, Noah, I'm glad that you apologized. But you tapped into your pseudo white woman that is always there, that plays instant victim. And at 20, I'm concerned about your response, because this response to me at 20, the way that you Gen Zers talk with no punctuation and no nothing.
Would y'all stop doing that? That's the auntie in me. Go ahead.
Her response was, I am mortified that I used the term without knowing the context and history. Ma'am, but I know now, and I am horrified and truly sorry. I will never use it again. Thank you for educating me. I in no way meant to offend anyone. I'm just so sorry. Here's the thing. What about white people is ever nappy? That's how you should know.
Well, now that's it.
That's it. Why is the word nappy in your vocabulary? Unless you.
Where did you get that word from?
Her sister. Because remember, when her sister was 20, that was Black Miley. After Hannah Montana.
But then that kind of takes away from some of the defense, because if you've heard the word, then you at least in part know that it's not one you should be using.
And here, we can spar here, because I just don't give a lot of credence to the education of Gen Z.
I mean, I agree. Now, on my show yesterday, I was talking about mulatto and the colorism conversation. So I agree. I think that there's, and I always say, the U.S. is 27th in education in the world. So I definitely, and that's, we made it out.
Nice, right?
Right. We made it out because we had smart parents who made us read at home. I
also railed on that earlier in the week, reading.
Well, because the situation is, like your autocorrect didn't correct your lowercase I when you were typing that apology. It reeks of future Karen. So I'm with you. I'm concerned.
Well, deliberately dumb.
That too.
Okay. Well, while we are in the vein of being lighthearted, Wendy Wiliams dropped the trailer for her biopic.
Yeah.
I would be remiss if we did not wrap the cabinet on this Friday with a clip.
It's your girl, Wendy Wiliams, on the mic. I am here to stay. Wendy Wiliams is not going anywhere. I'm going to come in like a hurricane. So, Whitney, are you still using drugs?
Who wants to give you a talk show?
Millions of people turn on the radio to listen to me.
You're the star.
I am going to tell it like it is. I'm becoming a real business. And I've been trusting you to take care of all of that.
You're self-indulgent. You're narcissistic. You got a coke habit.
He's having a baby with her. Before I had you, I had me. And not you, nor anyone else have the power to take away my gifts. I'm gonna bring the heat.
I'm
will turn this city out.
A Lifetime original movie, Wendy Wiliams, premieres Saturday, January 30th at 8, only on...
I'm in.
Period.
I'm in. Here's the thing, and I also think, we'll talk about it. I am also here for, I would like a new wave of us getting the biopic of while you're here with us. Because we know it's not all peaches and cream.
Right.
I'm going to tell you when I knew that I was in for sure. When she said, Whitney, how long have you been doing drugs? As if she wasn't. When she was in the Statue of Lady Liberty costume laying on the floor, I was like, oh, I'm in. And then the cocaine on the table.
It was at that point that I said, oh, not only am I in, but this is not a regular grab popcorn type of movie. I need a good slice of cheesecake and some wine. This is that kind of.
Wow. No, see, I need that when it started to get really good, but I want to start with some soul food. I actually want my chicken smothered. I know what I'm going to eat. And my mouth is going to water like hers does on air.
That's yes. Yes.
I think all of that is needed. Right? All of that is needed. So yeah, that's I'm in. We'll talk about it. If you haven't seen it, we'll also put the trailer in that new Facebook group that I talked about. And then I also and then that's anything else tickling your fancy this week?
I don't think so.
We can do.
Because
I feel like the finale happened on Sunday. It's now Friday. If you haven't seen The Undoing, that's on you.
That is on you.
I want to talk about the white privilege that it ends with. Actually, I want to talk about the white privilege that it is.
Because it is a lot of white privilege.
You said something to me yesterday when you concluded that it was, and I've already repeated it to somebody, that's how it stuck with me, that it is a whitewashed version of the O.J. Simpson story.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. That's all it is. I literally got to, because you're literally watching it expecting some type of twist or turn. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I really thought that the best friend was involved and had been sleeping with the husband the whole time.
I thought the son was colluding with the grandpa. I really thought all of these things were happening. And the reason it was exceptionally suspenseful.
Yes. And then we got to the end and that's all you gave us?
It was phenomenally disappointing.
It was a colossal waste of my time. And I actually am very pissed off. Don't bring it. That was a limited series, right? It's not coming back for season 2.
I think it's over, and that's fine with me.
That's fine. I don't need anything else from that raggedy ass, white privilege ass family.
The reason that you got me to recommend it to other people is because it was exceptionally suspenseful in episodes 1 and 2. So I was like telling people, you gotta watch. Now I'm telling people, don't waste your time.
Don't waste your time. Because I was in literally up until maybe 30 minutes into the season finale. And then they started playing out the murder. And I was like, well, wait a goddamn minute. Did he actually do it? Oh, this is stupid. This is really stupid. And then I sent you my first reaction picture. I don't even remember what part of the episode I was in when I sent that. But then when the credits began to roll, I was pissed. You literally just took O.J. Simpson's story, added some white people with white privilege, and put it on HBO. The caucasity of you. Complete, utter waste of my time.
Total waste of time. Total nonsense. Total BS. Total frustration. I was just upset all around. I just wasn't happy about it. I didn't like it.
Boo to this man. Boo.
I didn't like it at all. All right. I'm going to end today with my meme of the week. This is another crush to my parents' dreams and the plans that they've had for my life. But this is if I could give a parent any advice, stop planning for your children because they're going to do what the hell they want, just like you did.
Especially our generation.
This meme of the week is one that actually had me chuckling. I say things like this all the time, so it's not surprising. But
oh my God,
this is a literal picture of me. Okay, at about whatever age, like.
First of all, this man is fine. Okay, I don't know who he is.
It's just the accuracy, though, of probably because literally, and what's crazy is, I tapped into some of these uncle tendencies early. In my late 20s, I had a newspaper subscription, and I used to sit out like literally just like this in the morning. It was only a weekend newspaper subscription, but I know that even y'all would, like, you specifically would come over and look like, whose newspaper is this?
Is this the AJC in print? This is in print, sir. But I am with you.
Did you see he's got his readers right there?
I see. I used to go to the store. I knew I had reached peak auntie age when I started going to the grocery looking for my $1 Sunday newspaper. I need one. It's got my coupons in it. I need my coupons for the week.
See, I'm not that far. I don't really do coupons, but I hope that y'all can take something off.
No, I will get a coupon. It's really bad. It's really bad. I get personalized coupons from my favorite grocery store because I have an account, and when I scan my card, it tallies. Okay, she likes these things, so we'll send her coupons for these things.
You got talents that I don't have because I'm already confused.
I need that because my things are organic and expensive. I need that $1 off of that almond milk. So yes, that is me. Give me 10 years. That's me at all of my children's programs.
I'm waiting for the expose that everything that they've told us was organic was a lie.
It's already on Netflix.
Because in this country,
it's already on Netflix. There's about 3 or 4 of them you can watch. And for those buying stupid things organic, you don't need organic bananas. Don't do that. They're playing you.
I also heard a little bacon tip. I don't give those on this show, never have before, but you also don't need what is it, non-cured bacon? Or cured bacon. Well, yeah, you don't need it. Get the bacon that's the cheapest because it all is processed the same.
Yeah, I don't eat bacon anymore, so
that's on you. People like you eat turkey bacon. That's disgusting. Anyway, you've got Tiff Talks.
I don't eat that anymore.
Now that it's Tiff Talks is on and popping. Talk a little bit about the Tiff Talks experience and what people can get when they tune in.
Sure. So if you tune into Tiff Talks Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., you're going to get some of the same things you get on Unmuted Nation, but a lot of mine is about the spiritual side of things. But I also give a very ratchet gospel theology perspective on politics and entertainment news and just goings on in the world. We get a lot of criminal justice and social advocacy information because I'm rooting for everybody Black. And it's just a good time. I have different people come on the show to talk about different things and just have a good time. So tune in.
Wonderful. Well, Tiff Talks airs on Boss FM Talk just 2 hours before my show. So what you do Monday through Friday is download the Boss FM radio app, listen to the Talk channel. Tiff Talks at 11 a.m. What is that? 8 a.m. Pacific, and Unmuted Nation following at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Okay, so Tiff Talks is there. I'm back with you next week for more of The Nation, and that is going to do it for The Nation this week. You can watch The Cabinet at any time by downloading the app that you see right there on your screen. You can also follow us on social media, Unmuted Nation, on everything. Join that new Facebook group I've been talking about all week, and let's keep it real. All right. Remember, today is greater. Believe it, speak it, and live it. You have to make the choice to be great. Your situation is not your destination. So go make it your motivation. That's going to do it for Unmuted Nation today. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next week.